You may not believe in astrology, but there's no question the planets rule our lives. We get up when the sun rises, or some time after, and go to bed when it sets. We have a calendar based on days, months, and years periods of time that relate to how the moon and earth move around the sun in the sky. For most of history, people found this kind of astronomical timekeeping good enough for their needs. But as the world became ever more frantic and sophisticated, people needed to keep track of hours, minutes, and seconds, as well as days, months, and years. That meant we needed accurate ways of keeping time. Pendulum clocks and mechanical watches used to be the best way of doing this. Today, many people use quartz clocks and watches instead, but what are they and how do they work? How ordinary clocks work. We all know that a clock keeps time, but have you ever stopped to think about how it does so? Probably the simplest clock you could make is a speaking clock. If you count seconds by repeating a phrase, that takes exactly 1 second to say, like elephant 1, elephant 2, elephant 3, you'll find you can keep time pretty accurately. Try it out. Say your elephants from 1 to 60 and see how well you keep time over a minute compared to your watch. Not bad, eh? The trouble is, most of us have better things to do all day than say elephant. That's why people invented clocks. Some of the earliest clocks used swinging pendulums to keep time. A pendulum is a long rod, or a weight on a string, that swings back and forth. In 1583, the Italian physicist Galileo Galilei, 1564-1642, discovered that a pendulum of a certain length always takes the same time to swing back and forth, no matter how heavy it is or how big a swing it makes. He figured this out by watching a huge lamp swinging on a chain from the ceiling of Pisa Cathedral in Italy and using his pulse to time it as it moved back and forth. In a clock, the pendulum's job is to regulate the speed of the gears, interlocking wheels with teeth cut into their edges. The gears count the number of seconds that pass and convert them into minutes and hours, displayed on the hands that sweep round the clock face. To put it another way, the gears in a pendulum clock are really just counting elephants. You can make a pendulum clock by binds a load to a bit of string. In the event that the string is about 25 centimeters, 10 inches in length, the pendulum will swing to and fro generally once each second. Shorter strings will swing quicker and longer strings more slow. The issue with a clock like this is the pendulum will continue halting. Air opposition and grinding will before long go through its energy and carry it to an end. That is the reason pendulum checks have springs in them. When daily or something like that, you end up a spring inside the clock to put away expected energy to keep the pendulum moving for the following 24 hours. As the spring uncoils, it controls the apparatuses inside the clock. Through a seesaw system called an escapement, the pendulum powers the apparatuses to turn at an exact rate, and this is the means by which the riggings keep time. A pocket watch is clearly too little to even consider having a pendulum inside it, so it utilizes an alternate system. Rather than a pendulum, it has an equalization wheel that turns initial one way and afterward the other, constrained by a lot littler escapement than the one of every pendulum clock. Please like, share and subscribe to Everyday Infotainment. And if you have any suggestion, feel free to comment.